I guess I'll start. I'll just tell you a little about what I do. I'm 17. I go to a high school in Virginia Beach, and I publish a music review magazine called The Hip Key, and it's just like music reviews mostly, and also like artist interviews.
Okay.
Okay. I'll start off little boring questions. Do you come from a musical family, or?
I only, the kind of musical family I come from are tinkers, tinkering around with music. They, nobody really professional. On my grandmother's side, my great-grandmother's husband,
Yeah.
mandolin. And my grandfather fiddled around with mandolin. And my mom had a wonderful voice. My father always had instruments around.
Really?
Never really played proficiently.
Yeah.
And I just always sang.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I wish my keyboard player Jan, and she's my writing partner. We wrote "Come On Home" together. Her family, I mean, she has a musical family. She played guitar and sang before, and then she now plays keyboards and writes with me and writes for a million things and does soundtrack stuff. And she's a really brilliant gal. And her brother is in Bush.
Yeah.
In Bush. Her mother used to play piano professionally. Her sister is in the London Philharmonic, orchestra, and she plays violin.
Yeah, so a lot of people.
She has a musical family. Me, I just have those could-have-beens, and couldn't, because they weren't allowed. So.
Yeah, because of your upbringing, or like.
Their upbringing, because of their upbringing, they weren't allowed.
Yeah. So what was your first exposure to the music business? Or how did you get involved in the whole thing?
I wanted to do it when I was 14, and I played hoot nights with my friend, and we did, let's see, I sang, folk songs.
Yeah.
And I played a professional gig once, and they told me, hey, aim for those acoustic tiles over there in the corner. And, of course, I tried that. And then my partner was good in school where I wasn't. And she finished school and did well in school, and I eventually quit school after having to take my junior year or sophomore year for the fourth time.
Oh.
And but I had a lot of trouble at home, so I quit. But I got a GED, and I did go to college for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Realized that I was taking art. I was always taking art. I was an art major.
Yeah.
And then while I was suffering from my art, and I was ready to starve.
Yeah.
Van Gogh was my hero and all, and. I knew you had to suffer for it, and I was suffering, and I'm ready to suffer more, except I kept dreaming I was singing. And so I eventually quit and decided that I would go and I bought the Village Voice and started going on auditions.
Right. So you said you had a tough time at home. Now, I know that you have a lot of bitterness to the Catholic Church. What...
It's not bitter. It's just, I don't have any bitterness towards
that was how the article...
I don't own that. I just think that, you shouldn't hire rageaholics to take care of children.
Right.
You shouldn't hire people who are disconnected from their body and their heart
to
take care of children, because if you're totally in another place, you're not going to be able to stand there and take care of 40 screaming kids and act civil and kind to them when you don't act kind to yourself. And these women, when I was a kid, in bondage. They had cardboard around the throat, around their head, around their hair, and on their chest. They were like the evil. It was almost like if you were born female, looking at these people, you knew that you had to suffer. And I never got it. I would look at the men, and the men were wearing free-flowing dresses,
Yeah.
you know, long flowing skirts, and the nuns had to wear all this bondage.
Yeah.
And all I thought was that God hated women and children until I realized these were just people.
Yeah. So a lot
Treat people badly, oppressed people. It's the kick the dog syndrome.
Yeah.
That wasn't my bitterness towards the church. That was my
just what
action to their teaching.
Yeah.
And they always contradict themselves.
Yeah. So a lot of your films, though, you've turned into good work. Like I know you've done a lot of speaking out for women and homosexuals. Was it inspired by just all that you saw growing up?
Yeah. And my sister is a lesbian, and I have very close friends who are gay.
Yeah.
And they are the people that I love, and I think that you have to love the people in your family.
Yep.
Stick by them, and the people that you love. I'm not ashamed. I'm proud of them. I'm proud that they were able to live, acknowledge who they were.
Right.
And, you know, I don't think that goes along with, you know, unsafe sex, unsafe anything.
Yeah.
Not even about that.
Right.
I'd rather be with the sisters out of the closet than with the sisters in the closet who are a little hostile.
Yeah. So, back to the music. How did you originally hook up with John Turry?
I was singing in a club band, singing on the road to nowhere, in clubs, doing covers, and hating every moment. When I first started, of course, it was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would play to 700, 800, 1,200 people.
Right.
You know, I could go to the Hamptons, and you'd be a bar band.
Yeah. So,
learned, but then I lost my voice, and I hired somebody else, and then my band started doing well without me. Oh, God, I thought my band would fall apart without me, and when they I couldn't believe it. And my friend knew this guy, Ted Rosenblatt, who knew John Torrey.
Yeah.
And Ted at that time was working with Harvey Fuqua, who managed Sylvester.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I loved them, and two tons of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I got to know, you know, I met Sylvester a couple of times and started to absolutely adore him. And
yeah.
I also worked in, I started to write songs with John Torrey, and we put together Blue Angel, and there were like 5 different versions of Blue Angel.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, so many. And, you know, so many different themes on, you know, so many different takes on the theme.
Yeah.
And then I decided that one day, why aren't I singing something that really makes sense?
Yeah.
And I went to see Blondie, and I went to see Annie Golden in the Shirts, and I thought, my God, my voice is so much like Frankie Lyman, and it, you know, that graininess that was in my voice that I tried so desperately to remove.
Yeah.
When I heard other people singing who had that in their voice, and there was a respect for it, I thought, oh my God, have respect for yourself and do something that's like you. So we came up with this kind of rockabilly sound that incorporated that Frankie Lyman and Ronnie Spector and
right.
And that's what we were working on. And then of course rockabilly didn't happen yet, and so it got really kicked in the butt a couple of times. And after a couple of years, we were together from 77 to 81.
Yeah.
And we just kind of couldn't take it anymore, so we split up. And then as soon as we split up, out comes the Stray Cat. I was like, holy cow, you side swiper, there it is.
I know.